Hello, this is Allie with the Perception Trainers, author of The Perception Diet, and today I want to talk to you about forgiveness. So I have had many requests for this video, and I'm actually really excited to do it for you. So yeah, keep the requests coming because I will essentially try and get to all of them because I'm here for you, and I'm just really excited to talk to you about what you care about. So, forgiveness. This is a huge subject, and I'm going to be able to distill it down into a 15-minute video, and so here we go. So before we start, I want to tell you 3 things that you need to know before we can even start talking about forgiveness, okay? First thing, everything in the universe, everything that happens to you is for your good, okay? So this is a very important concept to understand before we can even start talking about forgiveness. And I want you to just sit with that idea, okay? That absolutely everything that comes into your life is for a higher purpose. Everything that comes to you is for your good. It is for your expansion, it is for your learning, it is for your growth, it is for your edification. And even if it doesn't feel like that right now, that's okay. You don't have to feel like everything in your life is good. You don't have to feel like you even agree with me. But eventually, at some point, when you look back, you're going to see that absolutely everything benefited you, okay? So, and this is just a fundamental thing that I want to start off with, because when you work from this idea, all of the rest of what I'm going to say is going to make sense, okay? So, everything in the universe is for you. Second thing, when I say victim mode or victim mentality, I am simply talking about a vibrational state. Okay, so this is not in a mocking way. This is not in a you should just get over yourself, you victim kind of way. This is not in any kind of, I'm not even wanting to make you feel like victim mode is a bad place to be and a wrong place to be and you shouldn't be there and you should feel bad about yourself if you are there. Okay, it's simply a state, and we are all there at some point, right? Where someone has hurt us, or we feel like a circumstance or situation did not go the way we wanted it to, or we were misheard, or we were misunderstood, or we were overlooked, we were hurt in some way, and that kind of hurt, when you feel that someone or something outside of yourself, or even someone yourself or something inside of yourself, where you feel unheard, unseen, or unjustly treated in some way, there's going to be some sort of victim vibration that happens within you, okay? And so, like I say, this is not to diminish this or to mock it in any way. I fully and completely love and respect victim mode. It happens, okay? And so as I'm moving through this, I don't want you to feel like when I say victim mode that I'm like, get over yourself, because I'm not. It's legitimate, and you need to feel that way about yourself too, okay? And the third thing that I want to say when we're talking about forgiveness is, I forgot, but I'll come back to it later. I'm sure I'll remember. Okay, so when we're looking at forgiveness, I want you to understand that forgiveness is an end game state. Okay, it's an end game state that you naturally wind up in. Oh, okay, I remember what I was going to say. The third thing that I want to say before we move forward is that forgiveness, to forgive someone for doing something to you, hurting you, either intentionally or unintentionally, is something that you do for yourself, okay? Something you do to set yourself free. But forgiveness is not staying in an abusive situation. Forgiveness is not someone hurts you, you tell them that they hurt you, they apologize, you forgive them, then they hurt you that way again. And they continually tell you who they are, okay? So I don't want you to confuse this as like, I need to be the bigger person and I need to forgive this person that's abusing me if someone is continuing to abuse you, okay? Forgiveness, for sure, you will get to a state of forgiveness once you've removed yourself from that situation, but I want you to understand that anyone that is hurting you, intentionally or unintentionally, over and over and over again in the same way, this is not something for you to learn how to forgive and stay in, okay? No. You need to learn to respect yourself enough to remove yourself from any situation that is abusive. Okay? Any situation that is abuse, you should not be in. It is not in your highest good to stay in that situation and learn from it. No. Okay? The only qualifier for not being deserving of perpetual or continual abuse is to be a human. Okay? So if you're a human and you're listening to this video with your ears, or with text, or someone is telling this to you, or you're reading this, any way, you are completely and fully undeserving of abuse, and you should never ever put up with abuse, okay? So forgiveness is definitely a state you will arrive at later, but it's not something that you need to stay in the abusive situation and learn to forgive. Never, never, never. If you are in an abusive situation, you need to get out, okay? You are not deserving of abuse, and that is not what this video is about, okay? So the universe is on your side. You are never, ever, 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 ever deserving of abuse, ever in the whole history of the universe. And victim mentality is simply what I'm using, the words I'm using to describe a vibrational state, okay? All right, so now we can move on. So, like I was saying, forgiveness is an end game state, okay? Forgiveness is a state where you can see the situation where you once felt victimized. You can now see how this situation was for your good. You can see how it benefited you, and you can appreciate and be thankful for what happened, okay? Because of who it helped you to become, because of all that it helped you to explore, because of all that it helped you to, like all that it catapulted you to desire and to look after and to go for, and the growth that it encouraged in you, okay? So that is forgiveness. True forgiveness is an appreciation for what happened. All right? True forgiveness is there's nothing left to forgive, right? You fully see how the situation benefited you. And again, that's not to say that you stay in an abusive relationship because now you forgive it and you're going to go back to the person that beat you. No, okay? You understood how that situation that beat you helped you to see that you needed to stand up for yourself, and helped you to see that you needed to have more respect for yourself, and that you didn't deserve that kind of treatment, and that you needed to extract yourself from the situation and rise to your own potential, right? Not, okay, I can see how this helped me, so now I'm going to go back to the guy that was abusing me. Never that, okay? It is coming to that place where you fully and completely recognize what the situation was and how it was there to help you, and you feel clear about it. You feel grateful for it, and you're moving forward with your life. So, forgiveness. Getting to this state from victim mode, which is where you are when the situation happens, okay? Because whenever we feel misunderstood, whenever we feel abused, whenever we feel hurt, whenever we feel looked over, whenever we feel whatever, we are in some shade of the vibration of victim mentality, okay? And like I said before, that is not a shame thing, that is not a blame thing, that's a human thing. That's a human thing that we all do, and never ever feel like you shouldn't have felt like a victim, because this is just what happens, right? So we're in that state. So to get from here, victim mentality, you did this to me, you hurt me, you didn't see me, it didn't go how I wanted it to go, the universe screwed me over, however, whatever it is that you're in victim mentality, to I fully appreciate and see how this circumstance has benefited me, and I feel no negative or resistant vibrations or feelings towards this situation anymore at all. I appreciate it and I'm thankful for it happening to me. That's a massive leap, okay? So to expect yourself to go from here to here, in one jump, in one fell swoop, is literally like expecting yourself to go from 10 years of inactivity to running a marathon overnight, right? It's literally just like, I don't understand why spiritual teachers or anyone out there teaches forgiveness, because the thing is that, like I say, you don't need to learn forgiveness, okay? Forgiveness is an end game state. Forgiveness is a natural place that you get to when you allow yourself to go from victim mentality all the way through the vibrational scale up to understanding, up to appreciation, up to approval for what happens, okay? So forgiveness is a vibrational step-by-step ladder when you finally get to this end game state. But it is not a state you need to rush towards, and is not a state in which you can skip any of the steps in between victim mentality to forgiveness, okay? So when spiritual teachers talk about forgiveness, they're talking from an end game state. They're talking from they're forgetting their own journey state. Okay? And I need you to understand that anyone who preaches forgiveness either doesn't understand it themselves, okay? They don't actually feel forgiveness about what they have thought. They're just denying that they're still in pain or still in anger or still wherever they are. Or, like I say, they've forgotten their journey and they just feel like they just arrived there naturally. Because they did arrive there naturally. But the thing that had to happen was they had to go from victim mentality to anger, okay? And then they had to let themselves experience their anger. And then they had to be indignant, okay? And then they needed to be rebellious. And then they needed to see maybe that guy was just an idiot and it had nothing to do with me and I'm gonna prove them wrong, right? And then maybe you go to, okay, maybe I can kind of see where this person was coming from and they were in a lot of pain. Still doesn't excuse what they did. It's not okay, but I can sort of see it from their perspective. To maybe I can totally see it from their perspective and I can have a little compassion for them. Still hurts, still not excited about the fact that it happened, but you know, they're in pain and I can see that they're in pain. And then maybe you go to, okay, maybe these feelings are starting to go away a little bit because now I can see how this situation benefited me. And I can sort of kind of see how this helped me to grow and learn and change and become this new person that I never would have done had this person not, you know, catalyzed my growth. To, wow, okay, I'm grateful. I'm grateful that that happened to me because look at who I am now. Look at all that's happened to me because of that situation, and look at all, like I just never would have, you know, gone down this path had I not been hurt the way that they had hurt me. And I love them and I bless them and I hope that they are doing well on their journey. And maybe this person is still in my life and maybe they're not. Either way, I bless them, but I respect myself a whole lot more. I'm not going to go into that kind of situation ever again, and I see how it benefited me. Okay, so do you see that? Not victim mode to appreciation. Victim mode to anger, to indignance, to righteousness. And so this is what I wanted to say about forgiveness, is that in order to get to forgiveness, all you have to do is allow yourself to naturally climb the vibrational scale. So you stay in victim mode for as long as it feels good to be in victim mode. And then as soon as that stops feeling good, you'll move to anger, because that will give you that little bit of relief. Okay? So you just move to the one level of emotion higher than where you're at that feels like relief. Because when you've been in victim mode for a little while, getting angry is going to feel like a huge breath of fresh air. Right? Okay, so then you'll stay in anger until anger starts to not feel very good. And then to be indignant is going to be a huge breath of fresh air again. And then when you will stay there until you're ready to move to the next step. And then the next vibration, the next emotion that feels like a breath of fresh air, you go to that one. And you stay there until you climb your way naturally out and up into forgiveness. And seeing how it benefited you, and seeing how it blessed you, and seeing how it catapulted your growth. And it is only by climbing the vibrational scale that you're ever going to get there, okay? And so trying to rush to forgiveness is impossible. So never feel bad that you can't just get to forgiveness. Because like I said, it's literally like saying I'm going to go from never exercising a day in my life to running a marathon tomorrow. You're not. You can't. It's not a thing. No one's expecting you to do that, and no one should expect you to do that. And most especially you should not expect you to do that, okay? So all of your emotions are legitimate. Just pick the one that feels like the breath of fresh air from where you are right now. And stay there until it doesn't feel good anymore, okay? And don't feel guilty that anger feels good, okay? Because that's a step on the vibrational scale you have to take, okay? And the longer you deny it, the longer you don't let yourself feel angry, you're just going to get sucked back into the victim mentality over and over and over again, and you're just going to stay stuck, okay? So the only way through is through. It's natural. You don't have to know how to do it. You just have to know to go to the next vibrational step, the next emotion that feels better, one at a time until you get to where it doesn't hurt anymore. Okay? And it's naturally going to unfold so long as you just allow it to unfold. So long as you don't block any emotions, you don't tell yourself any emotions are inappropriate, and you will get there. So that is my take on forgiveness. Stop pushing yourself. You can't get there overnight. You can't maybe get there in a year. You're going to take as long as it takes just allow yourself to feel what you feel, because every emotion is legitimate. Every emotion that feels better than the one you were in before is the one you need to go to, and that's all you need to know. Just trust, okay? So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, leave them down below. Follow me on Instagram, I'm Urban Fruit Bat. Follow me on Facebook, Perception Trainers. Subscribe to the channel for more stuff like this, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.